to another episode of our Rome Talk. Today I'm very pleased to have with me a good friend of mine, Andrea Geremicca. Buongiorno Andrea.
Good morning or buongiorno.
Excellent, excellent. So let me tell you a few things about Andrea before I start with my usual questions. Andrea is the director of an interesting institute called EIIS, the European Institute of Innovation and Sustainability, which actually is located here in Palazzo Taverna. So Andrea, again, buongiorno e benvenuto. Why don't we start talking about your professional experience and how you arrived to create the institute that we're going to talk in a minute.
Sure. So, just right now, I'm the Director General of the European Institute for Innovation and Sustainability. So, in the name, there's almost everything we are doing. We are dealing with the innovation for sustainability. And I will explain later what I really mean. So, I'm professor, I'm a young professor in a university here in Rome, LUIS, and I'm the director of the Rome Business School Master in Entrepreneurship. Because to be honest, if I have to just define myself with a single word, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur since the age of 22 when I founded my first startup. We sold this startup that was a platform to book medical appointment. So it was 2009, so to be honest, in Italy we didn't call this kind of companies startups because we have no clue what startups means. So when we created this first startup was probably too early because digital was not that common in our life, and to book a medical appointment was not absolutely common for a lot of people. But we went really good, and after 2 years and a half, we reached more than 1,000 doctors and a lot of patients, and so we sold the platform to an important company. And then, apps, I did it again. I launched my second startup. This time was in advertising, so I changed completely the market because I was sure that advertising was, something stuck, and there was a lot to do. To be honest, it was not true because we figured out soon that the market was collapsing because of Facebook and Google. They were collecting a lot of money, and for us was, for normal advertiser was not like before. But there's a startup was really a nice key point in my life because I understood the importance of scalable. Because when I launched the second startup, I failed because I was not focused on create a scalable product. And then, now I'm the director of the European Institute for Innovation and Sustainability. So we are basically dealing with the innovation in order to reach sustainability.
So let's talk about EIIS. This is a very particular institute, a particular project. I remember when we met several years ago and you mentioned this project, I immediately found it very interesting. So what is the mission, what is the core of this project that you and other people are developing?
Yeah, I know. I remember when we met the first time, I was coming back from United States. I attended Singularity University then, and when I was there in Silicon Valley, so Singularity University is a school located in the NASA Research Park where you are studying the impacts of exponential technology, emerging technologies in our society. So when I remember when I landed in Rome, I was, wow. It was like I was, I was discovering the future. And I just came back and I was, a bit frustrated maybe because in that place I was with a lot of people trying to try to understand what's next. and in Italy was too much related on what was in the past. So at that point I just said, okay, probably we need a new institution, a new way to approach education. It's not that we created EIIS to create a substitute for a university, absolutely not. It was just a way to think about something to add to the career, university career. So why we did that? Because EIIS, it is, and it was in my mind before, a place where companies, universities, and students are working together. And so if I have to define what is really EIIS, is a place where research and business training for companies and education with our certificate programs are matching. So innovation, as I was saying before, is not the goal. Innovation for us is the tool, like, I don't know, it's a computer or a mouse or a keyboard. It's just the tool that we have to use in order to obtain, to reach sustainability. So I'm not going to talk a lot about sustainability because you have a lot of guests about sustainability, and one is one of my colleagues, he will talk about sustainability. So I'm not going in that field. But innovation is what we have to learn in order to obtain sustainability, and what we have to do in order to apply innovation is, well, understand what we have to do, share exactly what is our goal, what is our mission with everybody inside the organization, because it's really important that when we are changing, when we are really doing something in order to change, well, for a lot of people, change is absolutely obscure. It's something really tough to do it. So if we are not able to explain them why we have to change and what we have to do in order to change, well, they will be an obstacle inside the organization. So EIIS is basically this. It's a gym where we are training companies and students in order to use the innovation to reach sustainability.
That's very important. We're talking about two very important topics. So if I ask you today, in 2021, still in the middle of a global pandemic, what is your opinion about the future? And so where are we going? Which are the most important challenges that we have right now?
Well, what happened, in my opinion, it's the same that happens when you use an enzyme, a catalysator. Because the digital transformation, especially in Italy, was already happening, but it was slow. It was, not enough. Well, when we been in lockdown, we were forced in order to use these digital devices, to use what we called smart work. And, a lot of companies just plan to launch products inside the company for several months. And I remember this friend of mine, he's the CFO of an important pharmaceutical company, said, we were planning to launch Microsoft Teams for the whole organization. We are talking about 90,000 people. And he said, well, we plan conferences, we plan PowerPoint presentation, we plan experts coming from to explain what Teams are, what Teams is. And in lockdown, in just a couple of days, everybody were forced to use Teams, and in 1 week, everybody was able to use Teams, like simple like that. So, and this is, in my opinion, what's happening just right now, an acceleration of everything that was already happening. So my probably wish for the future is that we keep what we learned from this pandemic situation, because if I have to think about my life before, I was traveling like 3 days per week. And for a meeting, I was going in Milan. For a meeting, I was going in Turin, in London, in Paris, everywhere. There was a meeting, there was the need for me to be there. And this is absolutely insane, it's absolutely wrong, and it's absolutely a mistake for the environment. Because think about how much CO2 we are using in order to just give my presence in a meeting. And we understood that, there's no value in me to be there, because I can do it with Meet, Google, or Teams, as like we were discussing before. So my wish is that we are learning from our mistake, and it's like a moment where we can rebuild our society, we can rethink our society, and in my opinion, well, we don't have to lose this opportunity.
I totally agree with you. As a matter of fact, our operations have been tremendously hit by the pandemic, as you well know. No students are with us right now. However, we were actually really able to pivot, as we say, fairly quickly to this new technology. So I agree with you absolutely. There will be something that we will have to maintain even after the pandemic. Andrea, you have mentioned Singularity University, and I know that you have also studied at Harvard Business School, so you are very familiar with the United States. And in general, I might say, innovation is traditionally connected with the United States. You mentioned the Silicon Valley and so on. But you are Italian. You decided to come back and to start the institute here in Rome. So my question to you is, how is the situation with Italy in general? How is Italy situated in the panorama of innovation? Can we do innovation in Italy?
Well, the simple answer, absolutely yes. But it's not easy, even because when we thought about innovation like a few years ago, well, we always thought about artificial intelligence or blockchain, robotics, and well, if we believe that this is innovation, the answer is no. Because we don't have programs, we don't have university focused on these topics, so we don't have enough money to invest in research and development of these technologies. But as I was saying before, well, innovation is just the attitude of change process, of change product, of change consumer behavior even. So if we approach in a holistic view innovation, absolutely yes, even because innovation should be used in order to achieve sustainability. And where is more important that we achieve sustainability? Well, one of the fields that I want to probably share is food. Because food is a critical point just right now. Because we always thought about food, and we are Italian, we absolutely know
we take it
carbonara,
very seriously.
Is tasty and good. But we always thought about food like good when it was good for our taste, not when it was good for our planet. Mm-hmm. And so we are finishing resources. We are treating our planet really, really bad. And I want to say something about this, because every time we were talking about climate change, we believe that it's something that we are doing to our planet. It is absolutely wrong. What we are doing is not to our planet, because our planet will stand for a long time even after us. So we are doing this to our species, to human beings. So we have to rethink the way we are producing and we are consuming food. So if we are thinking about food, well, Italy is the best place in order to make innovation about food. And another key point is art. Because, art just right now is too far from corporates, too far from innovation, too far from our society. It's a huge mistake, because when we are thinking about the future, well, we have to think about the future in a different way, with a different point of view. And in order to do that, well, we have to use art and artisans, because they are really watching like the same society, the same world, the same reality in a different perspective, in a different point of view. So another key point for Italy, and another important reason why we can innovate in Italy and we have to innovate in Italy.
I'm, again, 100% in agreement with you. Art, the humanities in general, can be a new way to promote innovation. Absolutely, absolutely. And so talking about the future also between our institutions, the University of Arkansas Rome program and EIIS are entering in a partnership that we've been working for quite a bit right now. And we're very happy of this opportunity. You know what we do here. We promote study abroad opportunities for the students of our university and other institutions. So, from your perspective, how do you see this collaboration going? Which are your expectations, and what is the added value that EIIS can bring to a program like ours?
We are so happy. We are so happy about this partnership. I know we are working on an MOU in order to make it official, and I believe that innovation is really tough, as I was saying before. And so you have to innovate just when you have to reach a goal that is really important, and for this reason, we're talking about sustainability. But in order to reach that goal, well, you need partners, because you're not going to change the world by yourself. And so I really believe in links. I really believe in companies, institutions, and researchers that are working together, government as well. Because, I mean, if we all do our part, well, together we can really change things. If we want to just, do our own job in order to get things done, well, we will never change anything. And so why innovate? It's just an effort that I'm not willing to do. So for us, it's really important that we are partnering, because in this way we are, sharing our knowledge on topics. We are sharing knowledge of our companies that are working on these fields. We are sharing emotional intelligence of our students, collective intelligence of our students. Even because I want to just say this, well, when we think about innovators, we always think about one person, like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Well, they are not just one person. They had a lot of person behind them. And without them, well, we will not able to do anything. And so we have to stay together. We have to share our ideas and our thoughts together. This is the only goal, the only thing that I see in the future of institutions, companies, and governments linked together.
Thank you, thank you. This is really great, and again, we're so happy to be able to work together with you, Andrea, and your institution. So, unfortunately, our time is almost over. I have the one last question for you. I know that you're really interested in this notion of future, and you also have been, deeply studying the so-called exponential technologies. So, should we be concerned or excited about the future, considering the speed with which the future it's approaching us?
Well, it's a really good question. Long story short, well, neither of them. I mean, yes, of course, artificial intelligence, robotics are really taking a lot of human jobs. But I mean, it's not the big news, to be honest, because if you have seen the past, it was like this. I remember, that when I was a kid, I was watching a movie, and I remember a man with a long stick going window by window to waken up people, because we didn't have clocks. And so it was his job to waken up people with a stick, a long stick. It was like blowing my mind. And when they invented clocks, a lot of people said, oh, and what about them? What they are going to do? And even, we changed again. And they started to turn off and turn on lights around the city. And then again, we digitalize everything, and so we don't need them anymore. And then, oh, what about them now? So we are changing. It's, our history is like this. We are always changing. What is really different this time is the speed. Well, yes, we are, reaching a lot of innovation, a lot of changes in a really small amount of time. So what I really believe is that we don't have to be scared, and we don't have to accept everything that they are, producing. We have to use, a bit of knowledge to understand technologies in order to understand even the compromise that we are accepting with technologies. And then we have to decide, well, Google Map is, taking my data about what I'm doing with my car, but am I, willing to pay for a service like this? Probably no, I want it free. And I can just share my data if they are giving me this service for free? Yes, probably yes. This is the compromise that I'm going to accept. My final quote about this is really important education system just right now. Because if you are keeping to educate people as robots, so for everybody the same path, for everybody the same, rhythm of education, and you have just to answer to question that I gave to you because I know the answers. This is the role of educators just right now. I'm just asking you, do you know this? Because I know. But it's not working like this anymore. It's not that you have to transfer, you have to share knowledge, because knowledge is everywhere now. It's on YouTube, it's on podcasts, it's books, PDF, everywhere. So you have to help them in order to make questions, new questions, not to give you the answer that you already know. So this is my dream for education in the future. That is not a place where you're following just a path and you're educating people as robots. Because if we are educating people as robots, well, yes, they will take our job because they are better than us in being robots.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for finding the time to be with us today.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to our collaboration in the future.
Absolutely, and to all the students, well, we are waiting you in a beautiful city, full of things to do, full of companies to visit, and absolutely in a beautiful palace. Thank you.
Grazie. Thank you so much.